This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 151 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show. The Scoop at HRN. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible.
This episode is sponsored by Equestrian Collections. You can find them online at equestriancollections.com. Plus Uncle Jimmy's at Uncle Jimmy's brand products. Look for them at uncle-jimmys.com. This is Glenn the Geek.
And this is Helena B. And you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show right here on the Horse Radio Network.
Well, howdy, Helena.
Howdy, Glenn. How are you today?
Okay, we have a guest with us today. She's going to join us today because today's all about the Horse Radio Network. We have some announcements to make, and you and I we've had all these guests. We really haven't had time to chat.
I know. Everybody else has been on vacation, and we've been busy making changes, haven't we?
Yes, that's right.
Coach Jen is here with us today. She's my favorite guest. Am I allowed to have a favorite guest?
Yes, you are, and she's mine too, because if not, I'll be sleeping on the couch. So, hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
And tell everybody why she goes by Coach Jen, Helena.
Because she is she's the world's riding coach. She is the brains behind Horse Tip Daily. She's the brains behind every effective riding lesson in the world. She's been teaching, training, riding since before she was born, I think. I think she's been teaching, training, and riding in a past life.
I need to go to one of those people that tells you who you were before you are who you are now.
Yeah, exactly.
Who I was.
Who's that guy we put on the website, Jennifer? The old guy?
Besides Zephanon?
Yeah, you maybe you were him before.
Yeah, possibly, or at least related to him. And Coach Jen is actually the resident horse expert here at Horse Radio Network. So we are always happy to have her on because
she was your coach for a long time, and she has been my wife for a long time.
Yes.
Yes, and she's also a producer of Horses in the Morning. And
the only reason she's still not my coach at the moment is because I can't afford to fly her out to Rhode Island every month. Otherwise, I would.
And she'd probably go happily. So let's talk a little bit about what we're doing today. Today, we have a lot of announcements to make for the Horse Radio Network, and it's been tradition, seeing that Stable Scoop was the first show we ever did here on the Horse Radio Network, that all the announcements about changes to the Horse Radio Network come on Stable Scoop first. So we have a lot of things to talk about today. It seems like they all just hit at the same time.
Well, that's because we had
we do that, we have to hear about your knee. What the heck's going on with your knee?
Oh, my knee. Okay, so I have surgery scheduled for August 3rd. So that's just a few weeks away. I can walk, bicycle, lightly run, go up and down steps, all without a problem. It is sore. But you know what happened is I had to go to some physical therapy before surgery to strengthen my quadriceps up, because it really atrophies in the couple of weeks you got the brace on. So everybody's told me, whatever you do, just follow your physical therapist's instructions to the T. Do everything they tell you to do. So, of course, I did that. Unfortunately, the physical therapist gave me a lunging exercise that was a little too aggressive for where my knee was in the healing process. And while I was lunging, the fact that I didn't have an ACL really hit home, and my whole leg just went in directions it shouldn't have gone.
Oops.
Yeah. And I felt it was so creepy. You could actually feel the femur slide past the tibia, which is what your ACL prevents from happening. And I think in that moment, I did a lot more damage to the meniscus than had previously been done with the initial injury. And that's bad. That's really bad.
And that's what they're operating on?
Well, they're operating on the ACL, and they were going to see what was going on with the meniscus once they're in there. But it was a tiny tear that could have very well healed on its own prior to this PT mishap. But now there's a lot of catching and grinding and swelling and bad stuff going on in there. So the good news is at least I'm going in for surgery. The bad news is my long-term prognosis could be changed, because when your meniscus tears, that's the cartilage. That really could lead to some severe arthritis long-term. So
Jennifer knows all about meniscus tears.
Yes, she does. Yeah.
Not good.
So, and I was just about ready to get on and start riding Zeke when it happened.
It was not meant to be.
It was not meant to be. But at least I can, do my own barn. I can do farm work without a problem. I can lift buckets and, I can live life. The only thing I can't do is take the risk of getting in the saddle. Should I have to get off or...
Well, and the angle that the knee's bent, too, probably doesn't help. And the pressure up and down on it,
That's not a problem.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I've practiced.
It's twisting.
I've practiced. I've sat on... I set my saddle on the side of the couch and stuff.
Does your husband know that?
Yes.
Okay, just check.
Yes. He just hands me a glass of wine afterwards.
I don't know if the wine goes with all that medicine you've been taking, but what the heck?
What? I'm not taking any medicine.
Oh, you're not on the medicine now?
No. I'm solo. Oh, natural.
Oh, okay.
I'm tough. I can take the pain.
Well, I wanted you to know, seeing this is update day, that I am down 12 pounds. So...
Wow.
And a pant size. I'm now to the skinny pants. So that's all good thanks to your diet and your efforts. And Jennifer's down too. She has also down. Her clothes are fitting a lot better because we're sort of doing the same thing. So that's all thanks to Helena.
That's really good news. I have to tell you that I fell off the wagon big time with all our guests and things that have been going on here. And I actually gained 3 pounds.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like a solid 3 pounds, not just water weight. So I'm back on the wagon today.
Okay. I'm going to keep an eye on you.
Back on the wagon today. I know. But you see how important it is to stay regimented.
Yeah, we have those occasional moments, too, where stress is the biggest, hardest thing when it comes to weight loss because you want to eat.
It just makes you feel better. It really does.
Yeah,
I know.
Comfort in food.
There is a lot of comfort in food.
Like macaroni and cheese.
Oh, stop it now, because I get to have yogurt for lunch.
All right. What else did we want to catch everybody up on? Our new doggie is doing great.
Glory.
Our new greyhound is doing wonderful. And I took her, I have to tell you, I mentioned this on the show this morning. I took her to the dog park yesterday, and I got to see her for the first time at full speed. She
Let me
found
guess.
a German Shepherd that she thought was fun. The owner was throwing the German Shepherd a ball, when one of those flinger things that the ball goes far and fast. And that German Shepherd could fly. And I was thinking, I wonder if our little greyhound's going to be able to keep up. Well, let me tell you. She blew that dog away, and the owner of the dog went, "Wow," because the German Shepherd had about a 50-yard head start, and she overtook him fast. And she has a little trouble. The German Shepherd can stop on a dime. That's one of their traits.
Yep.
Greyhound, not so much. She went about 10, 20 feet beyond him, trying to put the brakes on.
Oh, sure. Well, she probably hasn't had a lot of practice going all out and then coming back,
Yeah, well, and they don't have to stop quick, on the trail. They're not bred for stopping quick.
Right, that's true.
So on the way back, she just blew him away, too. It was so much fun. I got to see her do that 2 or 3 times, and it was just so neat to see her run.
Doesn't that make you feel really good that you can let your pet, you can let an animal be exactly what it's meant to be? There's so much joy in that.
Well, and she looked happy. She was at her happiest. She's been kind of... What's the word you would use, Jennifer, since we got her 3 days ago? She's been kind of...
She's demure.
Yeah.
She sits quietly, and she looks pretty. She is very introverted. She doesn't show her emotions.
Oh.
Which I'm not used to. So, it's been different that way, but yesterday was kind of cool to see her run. That was fun. It was a lot of fun. We're enjoying our new doggie.
Good. And now, how is the weather out there? Is it super hot, or are you having nice weather?
It's probably been in the 80s. It's been beautiful, actually.
Good.
A lot nicer than poor Jamie, or my co-host on the morning show, who has been 115 to 120 every day in Phoenix.
She posts pictures of her car thermometer on Facebook, and I think, oh my God, 100. When it was 105, I thought, oh, poor Jamie. And then it went to 109. I thought, holy crap. And then 115, I said, girl's got to move.
I know, and her husband just signed a 4-year contract. They're staying in there for 4 years. And then, of course, yesterday, they had a sandstorm of all sandstorms. Everybody, I'm sure, has seen the pictures and the videos of that. What an amazing sight that was.
Did they get through that without any problems?
Her pool is now full of sand. Inches of sand on the bottom, and just everything got covered in sand. Wind damage, she didn't really have any, because one of the things that happens is it's wind that's driving all that sand, and they had 60-mile-an-hour winds. So, but she didn't have any damage that way. There's not a lot to damage tree-wise. It's a couple cactuses and maybe a palm tree.
Yeah, but the dust gets in your house and in your horses. Like the horses are okay, right? They're not a problem with them.
They're fine.
Okay, good.
And she did. What does she have? A lean-to type shed, Jennifer?
For lack of a better term, that's what I would call it. It's a roof, and then it's got pipe corral type sides so that you get maximum airflow, but you still get shade.
You see, barns out there aren't a good thing because you don't get the air you need.
Right?
You need some air when it's 120 degrees. So, she does have misters that sent the gentle mist over the horses all day.
Oh,
yep, they use misters out there.
Good.
Misters. So that's one of the things they do to keep things straight.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that they survived that.
And I think that's about it to catch everybody up on us. I did get to speak to Uncle Jimmy yesterday, and we had a nice chat. Apparently, he's got some interesting things going on over there at Uncle Jimmy's Brand Products, and he's got some interesting things going on personally that we can't talk about yet.
Okay, but are we going to hear about them soon?
Yes, we'll probably hear about him soon, and he's very excited. So
okay.
We just want to tell everybody to head on over to uncle-jimmys.com to check out all of his horse treats. He has a great selection of horse treats over there. One of the reasons we like to get together with Uncle Jimmy occasionally is he gives us some of the horse treats that we all love for our horses. But the problem with his horse treats is the horses like them so much they never last very long.
Oh, so you got to buy in bulk.
You got to buy in bulk, and you can find him at almost every tack shop around there. Of course, he has Uncle Jimmy's hanging balls, and I think Jennifer, your favorite is the squeezy buns, isn't it?
Yeah.
Squeezy buns are my favorite too. Although I really would like to try the licky things.
His
for my horse.
And now he has a line of sugar-free. So if you have a horse that has issues with that, or you just don't want your horse to have that much molasses and sugar, then he has a line of sugar-free, too. So you can find all of that at many tack stores around the world now, or you can just go to uncle-jimmys.com, and I think he's going to be on with us here in the next week or two as well.
That would be great. It's always nice to have him on. And, speaking of not wanting your horses to have molasses and sugar, I did neglect to give everybody the pie update.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. What's the pie update?
Oh, my gosh. This horse is amazing. Of course, because I'm not riding him. He's amazing. Let me say the sassy, saucy, naughty little pony of 3 months ago is nowhere to be found. He's been, okay, of course. My trainer's been coming here once a week, twice a week. She rides him. And I have a 17-year-old girl who's very good rider. She's been keeping him exercised for me. And we've been riding him, or not, they've been riding him, in an old Crosby Predonations or something.
How old is old?
20 years.
Okay.
That's qualifies as old. Mm-hmm. And it fits him so nicely. He moves the nicest I've ever seen him move in any saddle, ever. Mm. The only problem is it is as flat as the earth once was.
There's a reason that the folks who don't ride English will frequently call English saddles postage stamps.
This is why.
That name was actually started by the Predonations.
Okay. Well,
the original postage stamp.
And the flaps are great, except they're flat. Totally flat. Nothing. No knee roll, no thigh block, nope. Nothing. Which, and it's funny because my trainer's like, I don't know if I can canter in this saddle. But then she said, well, I'm just going to drop my stirrups and get my leg back. And so it's actually turned out to be a great thing because you don't realize how reliant you are on the new technology of saddles until you ride one of these old things. Mm-hmm. And so it's actually turned out to be a good thing for her. So, but and it's a great thing for Pie. So he's really quiet. He's just looking fabulous. He's bending nicely to the left and to the right. He used to be really stiff going to the left. No saddle fit issues, no, bucking or rearing or anything like that. The only problem is you still can't catch him unless you outsmart him. Yeah, he still runs away. He's fresh. He's definitely fresh. He lets you get maybe 6 inches away from him, just as you're about to reach up and grab his halter. He throws his head up and he runs away. And don't even think about going out to the field with a lead rope. Oh, no. But so the Pirate Report, so we think he may stick around for a while. Who knows? He could be quite the treasure next year when I'm ready to get back in the saddle.
So Pie's back to staying.
Yes. Now I'm still looking for a good trail horse.
Okay.
Still looking for a good trail horse.
A trail horse addition versus a trail horse replacement.
Correct. When we built our barn, I designed it such that we have 2 stalls, but there is space that's set up to be a 3rd stall. So right now it's aisleway, but we can very easily just put 1 stall front up, and it can be a 3-stall barn that works really nice.
Uh-huh. And then there's going to be a pony for Gracie.
Additions.
Grace has been riding Zeke.
Oh, cool.
She rides Zeke on the weekends, and then I take her up to a lesson barn in Portsmouth, Rhode Island, that has a very, very, very well-trained pony. And she's been doing lots of trotting on the pony. So, yeah. So she's good with that and with Zeke.
Yay, Zeke.
Yeah, I know.
Give Zeke a squeezy bun for me.
I will. My husband told me this morning, he said, I rode Zeke yesterday. I said, where was I?
How'd you get away with that?
He goes, you went down to go get ice cream. You took the kids down to get ice cream. I said, what'd you do? He said, well, I just hopped on bareback. I said, well, could you steer? And he said, no. I said, so you just wandered around the field with bareback? I said, how was his legs? I mean, my husband's 200 pounds, He said, oh, he was fine. He didn't trip. He walked. And I said, well, so he was okay with that. He didn't give you any trouble. He said, not a lick until the very end when he wanted me off. I said, well, what did he do? He said he cantered up to the barn and went under the overhang.
I'll take you off every time.
Yeah. He said he started a trot, and I said, whoa, and he cantered right up to the barn. I said,
Zeke
okay,
is so
done.
subtle.
Get off. It was funny. So
All
everybody
right.
here is fat and happy.
Good. Glad to hear it. Let's do this. Let's go to Chris, who is the co-host or the host of the eventing, dressage, and jumping shows here on the Horse Radio Network. And Helene and I got to catch up with her for a little bit to get the first of the exciting announcements we have for you today. So let's go to Chris for that. Well, we have with us Chris, who is the host of many of our shows here on the Horse Radio Network, the eventing, dressage, and jumping show. And because she was bored and didn't have enough to do, she wanted to do another one. And this one is a little bit different than our other shows, and I think adds a couple of benefits that we're going to talk about that I really like for the Horse Radio Network. So welcome to our show, Chris.
Well, thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Helena. This is the first time I think I've ever graced your airways on the Stable Scoop radio show, and it is a privilege since you were the first out of the gate. So I am honoured and humbled to be in your company.
Are you bowing?
Well, as the Brits always do, we curtsy.
Okay, good.
Oh, I love that. I never thought in my lifetime I'd get that. I think I could get used to it. Chris, you want to come on next week,
You know
too?
what? She records on a ball, too, so if she's curtsying, she'd end up on the floor. She's not really curtsying.
Well, you have something really special going on or coming up, and I personally am going to be probably your first fan. Tell us about what you've got, what this special project is.
Well, thank you, Helena. Yeah, this is a brand new show called Equestrian Legends, where we're celebrating the lives of distinguished horsemen and women around the disciplines and around the world, literally. As you know, we are all over the world, and we have no excuses now not to extend beyond the 3 shows that I do, the 3 disciplines. We're going way beyond that, Helena. We're going to be talking to the greatest in all walks of the horse world who have become legends. And we're doing this slightly different in that I thought, so often when we interview people, as you know, Glenn and Helena, I interview them on the show, we talk about competitions, we talk about training issues, and we just talk about the practical aspects of what they're doing today and why they're doing what they're doing today. Well, we're going to step back from that, and we're going to be talking to people that have become legends in their own sport, in their own horse world. And these are of the older generation. That they're older than any of us, I would venture to say. And some are actually really senior citizens. They're in their 80s and 90s. And the legends of jumping, the legends of eventing, to name just such a few people will be familiar with, of course, Bill Steinkraus, multi-medalist. I mean, just a phenomenal name in the sport. And
tell us about some of the others that you have lined up.
Well, we have Lyndon Gray, is a very popular guest on the Dressage Radio Show, but she is really a legend in her own lifetime in the dressage world. So she's one of my guests, and Kathy Kusner from the world of show jumping, the era of Bill Steinkraus and George Morris, of that generation. We also have Denny Emerson, of course, and Jimmy Wofford. We had to have those. It was very popular from the world of eventing. And we also have Kay Meredith from the world of dressage. And two people that I'm particularly excited about, which I recorded recently because they are very close to 90. One is almost 90 and the other is 91. And that is Raimondo and Piero Dinzeo. And if you are of a certain vintage, you will remember that they were the stars of show jumping back in the 50s and 60s for Italy. So I've recorded those with an old friend of mine who speaks fluent English. Because we had to translate. I do speak some Italian, but I didn't want to abuse their language, so we had a translator for that. And they, of course, as I said, are stars. And to have them memorialized in an audio record of these people, Glenn, which is, I think, to your point earlier.
Yeah, I think that's what excites me the most about this. You know, Helena, how, most of these people who, Chris is right, for many of them, this is the last interview they're going to do. This is their swan song, and to have it at audio is much different than most of them have only ever done, either, print interviews, in writing, in newspapers and magazines, and you haven't heard their voice, the inflections, and you know how it is with our shows. When you hear them talk, you get a whole different perspective, and we're going to have these audio records really as a history of the horse world. And Chris, you were just talking about jumping and dressage in there, but we're going to go beyond that to Western, to natural horsemanship, to to the real legends in the horse world, no matter where they are.
Absolutely.
And to have access to these people that, scores and scores of us who will be waiting to hear what these folks have to say, we would otherwise not have access to them.
And it would get lost because they'll die, and we won't have their voice recorded in a conclusive, extensive interview like Chris is doing. I've heard a couple of these, and they get into their lives, and in some of these, and I don't think I'm being insulting here, you can hear the age in their voice. I mean, and that even makes it more poignant, these interviews. Don't you think, Chris?
Well, I think so, because they are, the senior citizens of the horse world. And as you said, we're going to get into much more, way beyond the Olympic, way beyond the disciplines that I normally cover. Anyone in the horse industry. It could be fox hunting, in Virginia and Pennsylvania. And Helena, I identify with this. There are people in the hunting fields that are marvelous horsemen and women, and who are still in the saddle in their 80s.
And have so much still to teach.
So much still to teach, and so many wonderful stories. And as you said, Glenn, we're going to be talking to them about their lives, what the other aspects of these people that you wouldn't maybe otherwise have known, and they may not have been prepared to share that with us when they were active competitors, because they were focused on their career, of course.
I love it. I think it's going to be a wonderful historical record. I keep coming back to that, but that's what it is. That's what this show will become.
And it is a joy to do this, because, as you know, I am approaching a certain vintage, and some of these people were my heroines when I was growing up, and the Dinzeo brothers and Bill Steinkraus, and these people are real heroes and heroines.
I don't remember any of them, Chris.
Oh, well.
Thanks for reminding we are of a different vintage, Glenn. Thank you.
Just kidding.
It's over.
I'm not that far behind Chris, so I can't say that. Now, Helena, she's a young pup. She probably,
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, she I think follows horsemanship and horse people enough to know some of these names and the ring that they have to them, Helena. You know, when you mention these names, what a ring they have to them, to the horse world.
All right, let's tell everybody about.
I think our listeners are lucky that this is going to be coming out to them.
I do too. I think it was a great idea, Chris, and I've heard some of the shows, so I know what it's going to be like. It's out now, so people can listen at equestrianlegends.com or just go to horseradionetwork.com. You can listen over there too. Who was your first guest?
Bill Steinkraus, of course, William Steinkraus, the legend of show jumping, and graced us with, of course, with that wonderful, wonderful, wonderful interview. It was a joy and it was an honor to speak.
Was he the one that you told me he doesn't do interviews anymore?
He does not, and it actually took quite a bit of persuading for him to agree to do this. So it really was a joy, and I'm delighted that we have him on record now, and you hear aspects of his life you wouldn't otherwise have known about.
All right, go over to horseradionetwork.com or go to equestrianlegends.com. You can sign up to download it on iTunes, just like our other shows. You can listen to it on the website. There's multiple ways that you can listen, and we encourage you to check it out. This is going to come out twice a month, so it's going to be like the 1st and 15th once we get on schedule here. And there'll be two a month coming out, and Chris is putting a lot of effort into this, so we give you applause, Chris. This was a good idea.
Thank you. Well, I would, if I may, just give you a bigger plug to the show. If you do follow Stable Scoop or any of the Horse Radio Network shows, please join Equestrian Legends on Facebook too, because I would love to hear back from, and if you have any suggestions of legends in your area that I should be considering for this new show.
Yeah, and this is a brand new show, so we're starting out with only 3 people on Facebook. So get on it, people.
And we're a little sensitive about our Facebook followers.
Yes.
So if there's ever a Facebook fan page that you want to follow, Equestrian Legends is the one. I'm sacrificing. No. I'm going to sacrifice Stable Scoop.
Ugh.
I mean, you still want to be a Stable Scoop fan.
You're too darn easy.
Definitely. No, you know what? Because I really believe in the show. I'm really, really excited about hearing these stories and hearing what these people have to say, because so much of that is lost. The evolution of horse sports, I think, in our country, in the United States in particular, has brought some really significant changes, and some of them not so good. And I think some of the newer participants in the sport need to hear what the masters have to say from the masters.
Couldn't say it any better than that.
And now I'm getting off my soapbox.
Thank you very much for that plug.
Can we use that plug to promote the show?
Definitely.
Damn, I'm good.
Thank you, Chris. We appreciate you being on. That's equestrianlegends.com.
Thank you, guys.
Well, as we said, I think this is going to be a great show. Jennifer, do you have any? You've been riding since you were 2. Are there any equestrian legends you have?
No, wait a minute. Are you inferring?
Well, you've been riding longer than any of us here on this phone call.
You have, and you are older than me.
Because I was riding doesn't mean I knew them personally.
Well, no, not personally, but somebody you looked up to is that in your mind today is a real legend that from your youth.
Again, are you?
You are kind of asking her, Glenn, to you're kind of grouping her in with these legends.
But I'm the same age, so I'm allowed to.
Yeah, but you're also her husband, so there will be repercussions at the end of the show. You do know this, right?
All
right, so answer the question.
Let me get you a shoehorn, Glenn. I thought about this a little bit when I was talking to Chris about the show, and I've proofed a couple of the shows for her, so I got to hear some of them. And one of them that I would mention is probably one that, unless you're from the East Coast, you might not have ever heard of, is Colonel Alfred Kitts. This is and he's, I don't know if he's technically a legend yet, because he's only, I don't know if he's 90 yet. I don't think he is. But he's probably getting up there. But just, he was a cavalry officer, and he ran the equestrian program at the Wilson College up in Pennsylvania, where I'm from. for many, many years. And he also ran the equestrian program at the Carlisle Barracks, which is a military base there. So got a lot of exposure there. He was always volunteering to do clinics and judging at our little horse shows. He was always very generous in that respect, because he was always volunteering his time. But despite the fact that he was an accomplished and international caliber competitor, and I think he should be on the list. And I actually Googled him the other day, and there's really not much about him. He needs his own Wikipedia page because he doesn't have one.
Oh yeah, I was wondering if
Heavens.
he had found. Is he still alive?
I don't know. I can't find anything.
Huh. Well, wow. There's lots of stuff about his military career, because there's always lots of records online about that kind of stuff. And there's little threads here and there all over the place about people going to his clinics over the years in the forums and stuff like that. But not a whole lot else. Well, I'm going to go
the unknown,
the other way. I mean, I definitely want to hear what Mr. Morris has to say. It's rare that those of us outside of the hunter jumper world get to really hear what he has to say in his own voice. I mean, I've been reading his column in Practical Horseman forever.
Right.
But I would really like to hear his voice. I know it's not always, he doesn't always have nice things to say, but at least he tells the truth. That's what I'm looking forward to hearing.
Well, yeah, that's for sure.
I could take it. And, and most of us, I think most of us horse people can take that kind of truth. We can't hear that our butt looks big in those breeches. But we can certainly hear that our legs swinging around like a chicken.
That you've been riding since 2 and you're the one that's been riding the longest on this show. Is that the other thing you can't hear, apparently?
No. Oh my God, Jennifer, he has so much to learn about being a husband. You guys are married definitely 23 years, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Oh, he's not the best student, is he?
So that's Equestrian Legends. It's up now at equestrianlegends.com. And you can start going there. The next show will be up in a couple of weeks. There'll be 2 a month on the 1st and the 15th of every month. So you can look forward to that. Something new here on the Horse Radio Network.
What's the website again?
It's equestrianlegends.com. Or you can just go to horseradionetwork.com and you'll see them there as well.
Okay. All right.
All the shows are on horseradionetwork.com. And then Helene and I have a little bit of announcement we're going to make too, and with all the changes going on right now. Would you like to make it?
I would. I'm really stoked about this. Glenn and I have our little offshoot show called the Tack and Habit Show, where we select 2 products each week that we sort of review. Sometimes, we own these things, we get to try them out. Other times we've just heard about them and we're guessing at
it's an excuse to goof off, be honest.
It is an excuse to go. It is funny. It's a little snarky, for lack of a better word. We get to be, you think we're silly on Stable Scoop? The Tack and Habit Show is probably twice as bad, twice as good. So anyway, what we found, though, is that a lot of our Stable Scoop listeners they said, we would love to have the Tack and Habit information just wrapped right into the Stable Scoop show. We're here, we're listening, we're tuned in. We love to hear you guys talk about this stuff. Can you please just tack it on to Stable Scoop? And so after some serious thought and consideration, Glenn and I decided to roll up the Tack and Habit show into its own segment within the Stable Scoop radio show. So every week, Glenn and I are going to talk about a very carefully chosen product, and we're going to review it and blab about it and goof off for a couple of minutes.
Carefully chosen, which is usually about 10 minutes before the show starts.
Yeah, but we never pick something. Here's the other thing is we're honest. Sometimes we pick things that stink.
Yeah, that's true.
So, we don't want to make anybody angry, but we definitely want to be honest. Otherwise, why bother reviewing it? If everything we pick is great, because everything you buy isn't great. So, what is it? Tack and Habit. It's, it's tack, it's girths, it's saddles, it's clothing.
Jerky?
It's beef jerky. Oh, perky jerky.
Did you see that? Did you see on the Tack and Habit page that Michelle posted about the beef jerky store she saw?
I did. That's better than a candy store.
Did you see what's it called? It's called Beef Jerky Outlet. And apparently she found it in Mississippi someplace, or down there in Louisiana someplace. And then, did you see the wall of beef jerky? It's an entire wall just covered with beef jerky.
I did. My tongue swelled up and got like really fat in my head because my brain just reacted to that possibility. It's like the jerky mart. Oh, it was really nice. Yeah, that was one of the things that if you really want to follow the Perky Jerky saga, tune into past episodes of Tack and Habit or just tune into the Tack and Habit segment on Stable Scoop. Because Perky Jerky is
What did I call it yesterday? I had a funny name for it. The Jerky Mart. We had the Jerkyorium or the Jerkorium, like Emporium. And what was the one that I had yesterday? The Jerk. Do you remember, Jennifer?
You didn't tell me about it.
The Jerkery?
The Jerkery.
The Jerkery. Oh, that's kind of nice. My daughter this morning asked me at breakfast. She said, "Mom, we haven't been having. She likes the turkey jerky the best. She said, "Mom, we haven't had turkey jerky around. Are you still Queen of the Jerks?" She was really concerned because she's a big fan too. I said, Grace, we'll have to, now that they carry it at Target, we'll have to make a run down to Target and pick up a couple of cases of jerky.
There you go. So Tack and Habit will be going away. We'll have one more show, and then that will end and become part of Stable Scoop. So that's the announcement there. And we have a couple of more announcements about shows, too. But first, I want to talk to you a little bit about Equestrian Collections. Equestrian Collections, if you need anything in, whether it's for you or your horse, you need fly stuff, you need summer show stuff, you've torn your breeches one too many times and you can't fix them anymore. Whatever it is, you can find it at equestriancollections.com. I'm sure Chris is thrilled that I just used that reference. But how many times have you been at horse shows where you've seen somebody riding and their breeches split all the way down the back? We have seen that a couple times.
My breeches are splitting all the time, especially with every donut I eat. It takes 3 donuts to split my breeches.
Oh, Jennifer, we have 2 donuts every Saturday morning. That'd be bad. So that's the one treat that Jennifer has and I have not given up. We get Dunkin' Donuts every Saturday morning. That's our treat.
Ooh.
We have not given up. But I actually was in the middle of a commercial, wasn't I? So Equestrian Collections, if you need new breeches because you've split yours and you want a selection, you won't find a better selection than Equestrian Collections. They have over 300 name brands, over 300 manufacturers that they use, tens of thousands of products. If you're a guy and find it hard to find clothing, you'll find it at Equestrian Collections. If you're a bigger size, you're going to find it at Equestrian Collections because they carry all the bigger sizes. They carry the bigger sizes that actually you won't see anyplace else other than Equestrian Collections. That's actually how they started. So check out all the different products at terrific prices that you can afford. They have a great closeout section as well, up to 70% off in their closeout section, and there's a bunch of products in there right now. I just looked the other day, and that's at equestriancollections.com. Now, the next new announcement here is that about my wife. She is actually taking over a show here for me because I'm going to be starting a new show, one that I've wanted to do since day one. But Jennifer's taking over Horse Tip Daily, and I am very excited about that. I'm probably more excited about it than she is, because she is so good at training, and Horse Tip Daily is all about training, grooming, and all of those kind of tips, and she has 10 times more experience with that than I do, and I just think she's going to be able to react better to the experts and to actually have better conversations with the experts about that stuff.
Yeah, her experience, or your experience, Jennifer, is encyclopedic. That's my favorite word to use to apply it. And so Horse Tip, and it's my favorite. It's my after Stable Scoop, maybe even before Stable Scoop. I shouldn't say that, but when I go on long journeys, I totally pack my iPod with Horse Tip Daily episodes. Like right now, I have about 50 back episodes that I need to catch up on.
Time for a road trip, hon. Come visit.
Yeah,
exactly. So,
and you're not going to Ada this year because your knee, so you won't be able to do that either.
I know. And they won't let me have my iPod in surgery. I know. I'd be like, here, listen to Horse Tip Daily.
Horse Tip Daily will put you right out. So.
No, it'll keep me calm and relaxed because it's the only thing that can really distract me from reality.
So Jennifer's taking over Horse Tip Daily as of a couple days ago. She is now the host of that show. We have almost 500 episodes of Horse Tip Daily now.
464.
464. I'm just so excited that Coach Jen is going to be taking that over. And you can still find all of those tips. One of the neat things about our shows is you can go back and listen to all the past ones. We had something really cool happen on the morning show this morning, Helena. We had somebody, Rhonda, posted, who's from Canada, posted on our Facebook page that she would like to start a club for those people. But so far there's 2, by the way. She would like to start a club for people who have listened to every episode of every show on the Horse Radio Network. And she is the first member. She has listened to every episode of every single show, including the 2010 radio show. And then Aubrey piped in and said that she also has listened, and to some of them twice.
Oh.
So we have 2 members of the, whatever we're going to call it, the Horse Radio Network Crazy People, who have listened to I haven't even listened to every show on the Horse.
Hold on a minute. Back it up. Jennifer, did you catch that?
What, that he hasn't listened to all of them?
No. Horse Radio Network Crazy People.
Yes, the Crazy People.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of the Horse Radio Network Legends Club.
Oh, that's good.
See?
I like
that, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference between a horse husband and a horse woman. I have nothing else to say on this.
So anyway, we have a couple members of that. If you're a member of that, post on the Stable Scoop Facebook page. We'd like to hear. We'd like to know how many are out there that have actually done that. So she's taking over Horse Tip Daily. That's one of the other announcements. And then she's partly doing that because there's a new show coming on board in addition to Equestrian Legends. It's going to be toward the end of the month. And that is the Driving Radio Show. All about the world of driving. And as everybody that's listened to this show knows, driving's my passion. You know, I've ridden very few. I don't ride very often, but I love to drive. I actually started driving lessons here last week and been having fun with that. And we met somebody that's been on this show by the name of Dr. Wendy Ying, who is a four-in-hand driver and also a traditional Chinese medicine doctor and a veterinarian. And Wendy is going to be my co-host on the Driving Radio Show. And I told Helena early on, like when we started Stable Scoop, there's one other show I want to do. It's a driving show. And it's only taken me 3 years to get to the point where we finally get to do a driving show.
Well, that's an important point. I want to underscore that because, you know, I was on that episode with Wendy and I absolutely fell in love with her. Her sound, her enthusiasm, her knowledge, and the way she shared her knowledge. She was just, I think one of the things that makes the Horse Radio Network special is that you do very carefully select who your hosts are. And I think the right person just hadn't come along. And Wendy's just sort of fell from the sky with little hearts and bunnies and stars floating all around.
Oh, God, that so fits her. Oh, my gosh.
Right?
Well, Jennifer, you actually have listened. We did the first initial show, which is sort of the welcome show and introducing us and everything. And Jennifer has heard that. She's the only one that's heard that show.
It's top secret. Ooh.
And what do you think about Wendy?
Oh, it's going to be a hoot. Wendy is lovely.
And she's funny.
She's a perfect foil for your stupidity.
Yes.
She is. Yeah.
Yes. And
she's intelligent and
smart.
clever and sharp, and she won't back down from nothing. She's a pit bull with pink toenails.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I love that.
She's just applying. You heard about that the tryouts, the casting call for Full Metal Armor, or what was that called? Full Metal Jousting.
Yes.
She's applying. She wants to do it.
So you actually have to joust for that?
Oh, yeah. You have to joust and beat each other over the head with swords and all kinds of stuff. And she's applying. She wants to do it.
I want to be in movies, but I want to be the bride who gallops away on horseback.
You don't want to be the one with 200 pounds of armor getting beat
No,
up.
I don't want swords or guns or anything like that. You know, no, I just want the cute outfits.
Well,
so she is going to do that, huh?
Yeah. So she's trying. She's going to apply for it. She really wants to do it. She said, "I'll need a co-host during the months they're filming." She's so confident she's going to make it. So she said she has 2 things going for her already, 2 minority cards. One, she's a woman, and one, she's Asian. So she thinks those 2 are going to help her. So
why not?
Yep.
Yeah.
So she's a trip. You're going to have fun listening, even if you're not interested in driving a whole lot. It's going to be a fun show. We're very proud to say that the American Driving Association, or American Driving Society, the ADS, is actually sponsoring the show. It's the first time that we brought out a show where the association is actually a sponsor of the show, and they're going to carry it on their website and promote it for us. they're very excited to have a show on the Horse Radio Network about driving. So the driving community is rallying behind the show, and they're a very close-knit, addicted community. Driving's a very expensive sport. But you think about it, you've got carriages and you've got harnesses, and when you go places, you have to haul the carriage in addition to the horses. So most of the time, you need a second vehicle. It's not a cheap sport. So people that are invested in it are invested in it.
And it makes eventing look like a day at the park.
Yes, it does. Yeah. And a lot of times, you're hauling 2 and 3 and 4 horses, depending on the size of your hitch. So, you have all of that, too. So we're just excited to do it. I'm taking driving lessons again and sort of getting back into that whole world. And you'll hear more about that. We'll have Wendy on towards the end of the month. She's also, as part of every week, she's going to be giving a little 5-minute segment on traditional Chinese medicine. She's going to be educating us on that, on the elements that we talked about, on herbs, and on all different types of things that she practices every day in her regular job, as well as training tips on driving and all the guests we're going to have on. It's just going to be a fun little show. So you can catch that soon. What did we miss? There's a whole lot of stuff, huh?
We still have more. We're not done yet.
Well, the other thing is, if you have a website, you can now carry the shows from the Horse Radio Network. I don't care if it's a blog, if it's a site about your farm, if it's a site about you as a rider, if it's a site about your horse. You can carry the shows, which means that you can actually just embed a little piece of code, just like a YouTube video, that will put a player on your website, and you can carry the shows right there. So people, when they come to your website, can see the Stable Scoop logo right in your homepage. They can click on it. A little player opens up in a separate window. People can continue surfing around your site while they listen to our Stable Scoop shows. We never had that ability before with all the shows, and now we do. And the cool part is in that little player, they can listen up to 20 past episodes. So I don't know. Have you seen it yet, Helena?
Have I seen what?
The new player?
No.
Go to stablescoop.com.
It tells you how often I go to stablescoop.com.
Yeah, go to Stablescoop, and you're going to see an affiliates link at the top there.
When did you do this?
This has been done in the last week in my free time.
Oh, okay. I don't feel so bad. Stable Scoop.
Yeah, and you're going to see...
Actually, he's lying. This has actually been in the works for about 3 months.
Yeah, I got it done in the last week.
But he got it done right. Okay.
Yeah. And you go to affiliates at the top, and the links there across the top of any of our websites has this. Even the...
I don't see it. Oh, affiliates. I see it. Never mind.
Okay. And you're going to see sample, the first logo, where it says click to listen.
Yay! We got Newman.
Yep. Click that. You're gonna see a window open, and you're gonna see a player. Shows all lined up.
Happiness. You know what? It's easy. It's clean. I love it.
And you'll see on that page below is all the code. You just take that little bit of code, put it. By the way, you'll need to put this on your website too. You take that little bit of code, a little embed code, just like a YouTube video, put it on your website, and it's ready to go. It's that simple.
Oh my gosh, it's so easy.
And it updates automatically, so that you're constantly getting the new shows. People can surf your site while they listen to our show. It just adds additional content for your website and gives people a reason to come back to your site over and over and over again.
I love it.
Yep, and there is one, like if you want to carry a couple of the shows, you can take them individually and put them on your page. There are also, if you go to horseradionetwork.com, there's one master logo. That's our Horse Radio Network logo that you can carry. That one actually has all of our shows in the feed. So if you want to have all of our shows available to your visitors, then you just put that master one up, and when you open it, the player has all of the shows that come out.
And it's free.
And it's free. It's easy to do, and it's a service to your visitors to your website. So there you go. That's the other new announcement. We are getting savvy, technologically.
We have been busy.
I know.
We have been very busy. And what else we have?
I think
that's a lot. So wait, let me recap. Let me recap where we've been so far. So we have Chris Stafford and Equestrian Legends.
Gonna be cool.
And we have
that's out
coming
now. That's ready.
That's out now.
You can listen to the first episode with Bill Steinkraus right now.
How awesome is that? Bill Steinkraus. Like, who else can get him on?
Right. No,
I know.
All right, so that's equestrianlegends.com. Then we have the driving show. I'm actually kind of interested in that because you know what? I don't know a whole lot about driving other than it freaks me out. So it'll be interesting to follow that along. I think that'll be fun.
And Glenn's been running around the house ever since his first driving lesson the other day, practicing holding his whip properly.
Yeah.
Well, when is
I got to tell you too, I've been walking the new dog, and I've been practicing half halts because she pulls all the time, and we're trying to get her away from that. And so I've been practicing my half halts with the dog, holding it like reins, the leash.
Yep.
And I think I'm going to hook 2 leashes on so I can really practice.
Get two.
Oh
two
my
gray
God,
ones.
he's addicted. He's officially addicted. That's
And
awesome.
you know what?
See,
You know the funniest part is, earlier today he said, and it works.
It works. The dog's been actually, now I don't have to do it as much. I'm not getting as much practice because she's being good now. It's like,
he just officially became a horse person right there because he like, how many times do you leg yield into traffic? I do all the time. I cluck to everything. I don't even know my left from my right anymore. It's either inside or outside. So, Glenn, I think you may be sliding into the world of the horse addicted.
He's heading towards the dark side right now. Yeah.
I started driving 20 years ago or more now, but I never learned to do it right. Jennifer didn't know how to do it either. We just guessed. Everything we learned the hard way by doing it wrong until we just got it, so it worked. But it's not necessarily the right way. I didn't even know how to hold the reins properly. We just figured it out and, was driving ever since, having a blast. But now I figured it was time to actually start learning to do a couple of the things the right way anyway.
When's your next lesson scheduled?
I'm doing them every 2 weeks right now because that's all about my schedule allows at this point.
Okay.
But,
all right.
So I'm excited, and Wendy has invited me to go driving with a couple of the shows that she goes to and things, and I'm just looking forward to that too.
He's driving a cute little Dale's pony named Rosie.
I'm driving a Dale's pony, which is the cutest little thing. I'll post it.
He does. He's a pony man. He's definitely a pony man.
I do like ponies. Ponies and draft horses.
All right, so I'm recapping here.
Oh,
we're going off on a tangent. All right, so after the driving show, we have Tack and Habit is now going to be part of Stable Scoop. So if you want to hear about cool products, you have to tune into Stable Scoop each week. So the individual show, Tack and Habit, is going away. It will be part of Stable Scoop.
The website will still be there, and all the past episodes will still be there, so you can still go back and listen to them. Yeah.
Just new shows will be rolled into, and it'll be sort of like its own little module, like a spin-off, but it'll live under the Stable Scoop umbrella.
Yeah. We don't throw anything away at the horse radio.
No, we're pack rats.
Yeah.
We're pack rats. Then we have Coach Jen will be taking on Horse Tip Daily. She is the queen of all things horse tip. Horse tip. She's the horse tip queen. And then we have our new affiliate program with super cool new technology and graphics and stuff like that Glenn just announced. And you can carry all the Horse Radio Network shows on your website for your fans.
And the driving radio show, which the website is not there yet. It will be by next week, and the first show will be coming out. Jennifer, the first show comes out the week of the 18th, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that show will have its own website.
Yep, that'd be drivingradioshow.com.
Okay.
And we went over the weekend to do a little photo shoot with Wendy. She was driving her very fancy carriage, and she was all dressed up in her hat and her dress, and they were having a pleasure drive over at the park, Kentucky Horse Park. We went over to take pictures, and we got some promo pictures of me on the carriage with her wearing my fancy little lap rug. So,
you have a lap rug?
No, but she gave me a lap rug and said I had to wear it. That was pretty much why I wore it.
How soon, Jen, do you think it's going to be until Glenn gets his own? He's going to be shopping. No more shopping for clothes and Western hats. He's going to be out shopping for fancy driving clothes now, isn't he? I'm telling you, it's going to happen, Glenn.
I said to my new coach Sterling, I said, Sterling, these lessons are going to cost me a fortune. Now I'm going to get a carriage, I'm going to get harnesses, I'm going to get a Dale's pony, which started $10,000, and it's just going to cost me a fortune. This little driving thing.
Well, you know what? You can go to one of the adoption sites, go to one of the rescue sites, and I bet you can find yourself a fabulous driving pony.
That's true.
We'll just find you a nice retired standard bred with really hairy legs.
And black.
Why do they have to have hairy legs?
Because Dale's ponies look like tiny little Friesians.
Oh, right. Oh, to get him to look like a Dale's pony.
Yeah, they're actually related somehow or another to a Friesian. I don't know how, but he likes the hairy leg thing.
Yeah, I do.
Just on his horses, not on his women.
I was thinking you were going to say that.
I didn't say that. I'm not getting in trouble.
No. You have plenty of other things. Yeah, you have plenty of other things to get yourself in trouble with. I just figured that was a gimme, so I might as well put it out there.
And and the other thing that we have to address here today is happy birthday to Helena.
Oh, yes. Yesterday. Well, what's today? Friday? So Wednesday. Wednesday was my official birthday. I started celebrating the weekend prior. So I celebrated for about 5 or 6 days. Yeah. I got lots of really good presents.
But see, now I have learned something over the years because I'm not going to ask you how old you are.
Oh, I don't mind telling people how old I am.
All right, then how old are you?
I'm 43.
Wow, you don't look 43.
Thank you. You know what it is? And this is, I don't care how old I am as long as I'm happy.
I really thought you were like 36.
I really don't care how old I am. The number doesn't bother me at all because who cares? If I could be 33 and miserable. Bleh.
Jennifer
But I
says
could be
I'm
43.
still 16, so I guess we're...
Exactly. It's how I read somewhere once that the brain matures or reaches its maturity at 26. And so you are mentally forever 26.
Really?
How's that? I mean, you guys, if you
Hey, we
out
just
there, you
got
want to
married. I'll take that.
Yeah, 26 is a good age. You're old enough to know better, but young enough to not care. Huh. So at 40, see, the thing is at 43, one of the nice things about, I don't want to say getting older, I say getting wiser, is I have all that experience under my belt that makes me content. It's like, if I want to wear, I have purple nails right now. I have purple nail polish, like Crayola purple. And I'm okay with that because it makes me happy. It does. I'm not going to, there are certain things that are age appropriate that you
She obviously didn't read the Chronicle article about what not to wear. Yeah.
Did it say no purple nail polish in the Hunter ring?
It didn't.
No, it didn't.
I'm the type of person who
actually.
Oh, see? Well, Jen, remember when I used to wear that lime green tie out cubbing?
It was wonderful.
Roading? Oh, my God, the looks that I got, the hairy eyeballs. And I cared. I actually was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't, I want to wear it, but maybe I shouldn't. Now I would go out with like neon green.
All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We also have a very special show coming up here, Helena and I do. This is episode number 151, and if my calculations are correct, episode number 156, which should fall in August sometime, will be our 3-year anniversary.
Oh, wow.
We have been doing this for 3 years. 52 is 104, and then 52 is, that'd be 156. Yep.
That's nice.
3 years that I called you up and said, let's do the little show.
And we're still not rich.
Yeah, that hasn't happened yet.
All right.
We can keep trying.
We have another 3
thank
years.
Our sponsors, though, that have been with us for the 3 years. We have had some good sponsors along the way, and we really appreciate them being part. I think Equestrian Collections was on in the very beginning.
She was indeed. And all our fans, we love to hear from you. We love your support. And we really love those messages that tell us how much you love us. Love it.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jennifer, for being part of today's show. And thank you, Helena, for all you have done to keep it all going over the last 3 years. We'll be back next week with another guest talking about something. That's what we do here on Stable Scoop. We get guests and we talk about something.
We talk about something. For details about today's show, go to stablescoop.com, and we'll put links, photos, and more information about Jen, Glenn, and I, because that's all you had today. And we do love your feedback. Go to Facebook, find us under Stable Scoop. We also tweet under Horse Radio. And you can always leave us feedback at the Stable Scoop website at stablescoop.com/contact.
All right, sounds great, everybody. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again next week.